Welcome to the tomato taste test now for the Kellogg's Breakfast tomato. This is an heirloom variety, as I described earlier. This particular tomato here weighed in at about 10 ounces. I'd say that's probably average, maybe even a little small average on these. They are a beefsteak variety. They will grow up to and over 16 ounces, over a pound. This one is a little smaller than average. This was not a particularly productive growing year here in Colorado. And you'll notice, I'll turn this around just real quick, this spot here, I'm just going to go ahead and disclose, that was from hail that we had at the end of July. That is not from anything that this tomato grew the wrong way or had an imperfection. That was a piece of hail that hit there earlier. So this one, I like this tomato. This was the first year I grew it. I don't have a good history of, as I described earlier, growing history with this one. I will continue to grow it for a few more years to see. It was one of my wife's favorites. The reason why is it is a mild tomato with respects to acid. And it is a still very flavorful tomato. This one's been off the vine for close to a week now, which is normally longer than you want to have an heirloom off the vine before you eat. But let's go ahead and give this a try tonight and describe the flavor of this tomato to you while we're trying it. You get a good look at the inside, and just want you to have a feel for what kind of tomato you're gonna get when you grow a Kellogg's Breakfast tomato. Look at this here. You'll notice one thing about this tomato, not a ton of seeds in there, which is great for eating, not so great for trying to save seeds. I got these were saved seeds from sister-in-law of mine. Let me go ahead and cut off a slice here, show you what to expect. Another great thing about these tomatoes is when you're making salads, pasta salads, etc., having a tomato different color like this, clearly orange tomato, does give it a little bit of variety and for the visual aesthetics, but it's also very good tasting tomato. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a chunk here and describe to you what I'm tasting while I'm eating this Kellogg's Breakfast tomato. Very nice flavor. As I said earlier, mild, but there's still a good tomato flavor there. It's got a good tomato flavor without being a high acid tomato. So if you are someone that doesn't like high acid fruits, vegetables, this is a great one for you because it does not have a high amount of acid and it is a very flavorful tomato. I can't comment very much on the productivity because this was an abnormally unproductive year across most of the western United States. Colorado was no different. This plant did produce probably 6 to 10 good tomatoes for me, good sized tomatoes. As I mentioned earlier, we had a hailstorm that also damaged our crop at the end of July, and that probably destroyed about 50% of the tomatoes in our garden. So I'm going to try this one again next year with the hopes that it is a productive variety, very tasty variety. Thanks. Leave me any comments, anything else you'd like to know about this tomato. Be happy to answer. Have a good one.